Well, good morning. How are
Hello.
you this morning?
Very good, very good.
Well, Salvador, we've known each other for many years,
That is correct.
and I still remember you the first time
Mm-hmm.
that you presented about water and rivers and stuff. So I still remember that,
Mm-hmm.
and you came a long way. So now, would you please tell us who you are, what club you're from, and what do you do?
Sure. My name is Salvador Rico. I'm with the Rotary Club of South Ukiah in Ukiah, California, District 5130. What do I do now is I am an advisor for the Community Action for Fresh Water initiative. This is the partnership between Rotary International and the United Nations Environment Program. You mentioned about that river project that I did a presentation about many years ago.
Yes,
All of that through the years developed into cooperating with the United Nations today.
something that some Rotary is taking action now, and
That's correct.
so why do you do this? Why are you really concerned about the water?
Water is life. Without water, we cannot survive. And you want to create peace, we need water. You want to have a good economy, we need water. Communities that have water around the globe, that have healthy water, they can grow. If they have pollution on the rivers, eventually that pollution, and we have found it when we do water testing on the aquifers, the pollution that was on the surface water, the rivers, the lakes, is under the ground. And that water that we siphon out to be able to drink and use at home is already polluted. So that is my passion, is to be able to have clean water, clean ecosystems for future generations.
Well, I heard from the grapevine
Yeah.
that you and two other people
Mhm.
in Rotary International have earned an award
Yeah.
signed by the president of Rotary International
That's right.
and the general secretary.
That's
So
right.
you want to tell us who are the recipients and why it's important?
Most definitely, that was a big surprise when we were doing the breakout session the other day. Rotary staff, Sam Kendall, which is the manager of partnerships in the Rotary Foundation, came up and gave us an award certificate to each one of us. Prawindra, which is a Rotarian in New Zealand, he's leading a project to take care of watershed on the Styx River in New Zealand, and they have involved um, over 12 Rotary clubs on that particular project, and they're doing what in citizen science, meaning it's testing the water, making sure that it's healthy, reporting to the local agencies to take steps necessary to take care of that. The other recipient was your wife, Bricia Elawar, which to me, she's Saint Bricia. Okay, she has done a phenomenal job on the Rio Bravo, Rio Grande. We all know about it. She just started also helping out Rotarians in Mexicali with the Rio Colorado, which are both rivers along the border of U.S. and Mexico. A very complex place, and you know that. You know, a complex place for many different reasons. We have immigration. We have
Narco
one culture
trafficking.
is the United States culture, governments, etc., and then the other side is the Mexican government. But yet, thanks to her influence, she's been able to put everybody on the table and make agreements, cooperate. Both governments are cooperating with each other, and done many cleanup projects, reforestation projects along the border of U.S. Mexico. We're talking about building peace. I mean, she's doing a phenomenal job. You know,
And actually, on every project that she's done,
yeah,
they have a monument for Rotary Wheel
right.
and then a Peace Prize.
That's correct.
And with all of that, they also did forestation.
Yes, a
So,
lot of reforestation
so
projects. We had the analytics of what had happened in the last 5 years. Over 1,500 metric tons of garbage collected.
mhm.
Volunteer hours, over 46,000 volunteer hours, equivalent to over $1.3 million. That is on volunteer hours. All the stuff that we do as volunteers has a value. You know, to me, is priceless. You know, volunteer time is priceless. To me, it has we cannot quantify it, but um, in statistics, if you quantify the volunteer hours, he has an X amount of dollars, so 46,000 equivalent to $1.3 million.
So while Rotary Foundation sometimes does not support some of those projects because they're not sustainable, you know, or it takes a little while for a global grant to happen. So you're saying working with the governments and the local business people is really what's equivalent to a global grant or better.
Or a project of scale, a project of scale.
Yeah.
But I've learned a lot from you. Okay, I learned a lot from you, and one of the things I've learned is that for me, the best type of project that we can do is the one that costs $0,
And involve a
and
lot of people.
that involves volunteer time. That involves time, energy, and you can do a lot of things, and you know that we can do a lot of things without spending a single penny. And for the time that we spend the money, we have already advanced so much,
Right.
and we've
Well,
done that already. So you're talking about it hasn't been done through the Rotary Foundation. I will say the answer is yes and no. And why is that? Is because we have this partnership that we developed between Rotary International and the United Nations Environment Program that is part of the Rotary Foundation. And so the project, VCS, has become part of this initiative as well. That's why she received that award the other day. And so even though that there's no global grant number, there's no uh, funding directly, but yet we're still doing the work.
right. Well, we've been together in Mexico,
Yeah.
as far as Mexico City,
Mhm.
and I remember one of the rivers which was a floating surface, just garbage
Solid surface of garbage. You could walk across the river on the garbage.
on the garbage.
Yeah.
And then we went and put trees in next to the land,
Yeah.
for forestation. Well, that's an international project. But I hear that also you start something in Ukiah. So we want to tell us about your local
Yeah.
efforts, for
In Ukiah, where I come from, we have the Russian River cleanup, and that's something that we've been doing since 2009. This initiative we have with the Road International, the United Nations Environment Program, is basically adopting a river, and we have my club has adopted that river since 2009. To me, is when you start working on something like that, a body of water like that, it's an ongoing thing. It's a never stop. How many projects we have done in Rotary where we go do whatever is supposed to be done, paint the school, take the picture, and we leave and never come back. In rivers, we come back all the time. Okay, you adopt a child, you raise the child, and that child becomes an adult. That's your child still, and then those kids from that child, they're your grandkids, right? So in our rivers is we take care of them. We go back into them, make sure that they continues. The river that you're talking about on the River Lerma, it was cleaned out back in 2022. Will continue to be monitored today. And then the Rotarians are connecting with local agents to see what's going on and what else, what are the things that can be done. Plus, now we do have a global grant on that area. It took a
fabulous.
while. It took a while. And that's something that, for all the Rotarians that are listening to us over there, doing a project on rivers, lakes, wetlands, it is not going to be immediate to be able to go into a global grant. It's going to take years. It's going to take months. But the patience and the things that you can do, slowly continue to develop the project, continue to develop the relationships, the partnerships, and then figure out, okay, where strategically can you put the money in? Every time they ask me about how can we do a project, I say you never ever ever speak about money first. Money comes at the very end. It's partnerships. Get to know each other. Get to see what's going on the river. Do some water testing. Connect with the university. Connect with the local agencies. The money situation, where it comes down to spending money, that will be 1, 2, 3 years later.
Well, Mahatma Gandhi said, when you want to establish peace, you gotta feed those people first.
Mhm.
So, in your case, do you think were you able to prioritize environmental over the needs of these communities? Because most of the communities in Mexico, let's face it, they really need a lot. So how were you able to balance that and convince the people to help?
It's about priorities. It's about priorities. Obviously, you need to prioritize food, water, shelter. That's the number one priority. Education, all of that stuff. But at the same time, is finding the time and making the time for the next step. Because a lot of the time is we do have that time, but we chose to spend it on something else. And it's about priorities. It's teaching them by example that hey, we can take 2 hours of the entire week to be able to simply, you know, devote time to those 2 hours in a week to see what's going on the ecosystem, to monitor it, to do the cleanup, to go visit, to go see it. That's it. It's simple. It's about priorities, and you are not taking nothing away. You're just simply making the time for it and the space for that.
Well, you and me, especially me, probably have few years to go.
Yeah.
So how do you involve the youth? And what's your message for our youth for the environmental effect? And we know the environmental effect is not about just the environment.
Mhm.
I mean, the change in weather and the flooding and the dryness and everything else affects migration, affects people movement, affects people's jobs, affects people's livelihood. And people's livelihood, when you take it away from them, then you're taking peace from that community and also the peace of the community they go to. So, how do you convince the youth that it is a good thing to do and is sustainable for future to come?
Leading by example. Okay. And I have 5 kids. They're adults, 28 to 11 years old. Every single one of them have been involved on a river cleanup, in a reforestation project, on an environmental education awareness campaign, something like that. The very last video I have, and I think I'm not sure if I posted it on Facebook or not, but it was actually added for one of the PowerPoint presentations that we have on the community action for fresh water. My 11-year-old is doing the water testing on the river. So it is about leading by example and teaching our kids that what we're doing is for them, but they need to be able to be stewards of the planet, because you know very well if a child inherits something that he didn't earn or she didn't earn, he's gonna waste it, and we've seen it, time and time again. But once you start teaching our kids, bringing them in there, get them their feet wet, get their hands dirty, understand. If you remember when we were in Mexico, we planted the trees. We were, full of dirt and feeling that we're part of planting something good, and you get them involved, then they understand. It's about teaching by example. Let them experience it. Let them see the situation. There are so many places in uh, Guatemala, for example. I don't think you were there when we went to the institute, Zone Institute in Guatemala, visit the Motagua River. It's a
No, I
horrendous
think my wife
situation.
was with you
Yeah,
guys,
yep, that's right.
but I
But
wasn't.
you need to go there. We're gonna be doing an environment tour in Guatemala in March 22nd, 2027. So
I
anybody that's
might.
listening to it, make
Yeah,
sure
I
that
might.
I sign that time for it.
Yeah, and I remember you brought your son,
Hmm.
and your son was right next to you,
Yep.
doing the same thing, cleaning river and planting trees. So you're an example of people who care about their environment
And teach them.
and care about the environment that we're gonna give to our children and to our grandchildren.
That's right.
Like my wife says, I want to clean the Rio Bravo because my grandchildren are there.
And I remember the very first cleanup we did
Yeah,
in Ciudad Juarez. Her
all the
grandchild
grandchildren were
her
there.
grandchild was born a couple months later.
Yeah. So I I am so proud of you
Thank you.
for all these years and all your efforts and all your commitment um, over the years. And I want to thank you on behalf of all the people that you have done something in their community that will really clean up their water for years to come. So, and I hope our path will cross each other on the road of service. So
all the time.
I want to thank you again
Yeah.
for all you've done in the world and what all you're gonna do, because I don't think your journey has stopped yet.
I'm not stopping, not even after death,
Yeah,
shop. I already have my endowment in there, so
fabulous.
even after death.
Well,
But I want to make sure that everybody has something, and that is this.
yes,
Okay, that is the Community Action for Freshwater QR code. Is
yes,
for every single Rotary Club in the world to register in that website. You
yes.
can do something to restore your rivers, your lakes, your watersheds, the wetlands themselves. And so please do make sure go communityactionforfreshwater.org or scan the QR code, register your Rotary Club, get connected, start doing a project in your community, and partner with your clubs, your districts, your zones in different parts of the world.
Well,
Okay.
thank you very
One
much.
one last thing is
Yes,
Rotary International has developed this pin right here, and you can put it close to the camera that you can earn if you become part of this initiative. At the same time, you receive those certificates that you're talking about that your wife received.
yes.
They can receive those certificates signed by the Rotary president. In this case, will be Francesco, but next year will be Yinka, and also the Secretary John Hugo. Once your club and your Rotarians are involved in the Community Action for Freshwater Initiative, as well as receive those stickers that your club can receive as well. So get involved, receive those awards, um, be part of it, share your projects in the website itself, learn from other projects that have been done in the world through the website, and any kind of questions you have, technical support, financial support for your projects, put it through the website, let us know, and so it's how, and then see how we can help you.
Well, I want to thank you again for
Of course.
all your effort. You're awesome, and we'll see
You
you
too.
again.
Of
Thank
course.
you.
Have a good one.